Good evening. The Bernalillo County District Attorney says the pandemic is letting criminals off the hook. News 13's Courtney Allen is live from home this evening with the legal process the DA wants to bring back to make sure the bad guys go to trial.
Dean, the two ways to start a felony case is either by grand jury indictment or a preliminary hearing to determine probable cause. Grand jury indictments haven't been allowed since March due to the pandemic, which the district attorney says has been challenging.
The Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office says violent crime is increasing, up 4% from last year overall, with homicides on pace with the record 82 murders that happened in 2019. However, DA Raul Torres says his office is actually initiating fewer felony cases this year, down 35%, which equals about 1,300 felonies below what they expected to prosecute this year.
If we're going to make an impact on public safety, I have to have an efficient way to initiate felony cases.
He says the most efficient way is by grand jury indictment, but due to the pandemic, those aren't allowed. Instead, they're only able to do preliminary hearings, which he says are much more resource intensive, lengthy, and if just one participant fails to appear, he can't start the case.
If we can't proceed with a preliminary hearing because the defendant has not bothered to show up, hasn't been detained, then we're just stuck. The evidence goes stale, eyewitnesses move away.
He says grand jury indictments, on the other hand, almost never fail to occur. Torres says they take just 10 to 15 minutes, only require 1 to 2 witnesses, and if the defendant doesn't show up, they can carry on anyway. He says once we are on the other side of the pandemic, he's pushing for substantially more access to grand juries for a better shot at getting these cases rolling.
Not just return our normal access to the grand jury, but to actually increase the available grand jury panels so that we can start digging out of this hole.
Torres says he's had to hold off on starting these cases until he can be assured that witnesses, defendants, police, and victims will all be present for the hearing, sometimes forcing the charges to be reinstated multiple times. Back to you.
All right, Courtney, thank you. The DA's office says they have submitted proposed changes to preliminary hearings, but the Supreme Court has not yet responded.